Hello everyone, back tuning into this morning's video. Going to have a look at the weather potentially through the final stages of June into the first stages of July. Got a lot of weather, got a lot of events coming up during this period, and the weather could impact all of them. We've got the Glastonbury Festival at the final weekend of June, going from the 28th, 29th, 30th of June. We've also got the Wimbledon Championship going through the final week of June and the first week of July, with 2 weeks from the last week of June into the first week of July. British Grand Prix is over that same weekend as Glastonbury, 28th, 29th, 30th of June, and then during the final, the first weekend of July, 5th, 6th, 7th of July, we've got the Wimbledon finals reaching their conclusions, and we've also got the Brentwood Festival going on as well over that weekend. So lots of events coming up, lots of festivals, lots of sporting events. All of them have the potential to be impacted by the weather. So what we're going to do today is look at the long-range CFS model for the week, for the final week of June and the week for the first week of July. Look at the mean precipitation temperature forecast for those 2 weeks from the long-range CFS model. See what they are predicting, see if there's any particular sign of any settled weather. They're coming from the website weatherweb.net. You can find weatherweb.net on my links page. You can see these charts for yourself from the long-range CFS model. Just click through from the links page and you'll be able to go to WeatherWeb and see these charts for yourself. WeatherWeb is run by the lovely Simon Keeling, great friend of mine. So yeah, go and visit Simon's website when you've finished with this video and see these charts for yourself, and thanks very much for doing that. So I'm going to start off with the precipitation forecast first of all, the rainfall forecast from the CFS model, taking us from the week from the 25th of June to the 1st of July. And if I just highlight where the British Isles is, I'm sure you can see it, but this is where the British Isles is. And what's very apparent from this is that it's quite unsettled around British Isles. We've got these blue colours here, so yeah, low pressure is dominating, giving quite a bit of precipitation, much of a precipitation in the north and the west. Actually, we've got the lighter colours down in the south and the southeast. That's where the lighter colours are, and of course the high pressure, the Azores High, is this big clear area of white down here. That's where the Azores High is sitting. It's not that far away, but the CFS model actually has low pressure really dominating the weather, stretching out into the Atlantic. Now this isn't one continuous area of low pressure. There's probably a waving front around here with several sort of waves which can form depressions running along that front, and the jet stream is coming through somewhere through here, tracking through the country. So that's quite a sort of changeable looking chart. So that first week of the Wimbledon Championships, we're close to this these paler colours, so maybe it's not too bad for Wimbledon. Would be some unsettled weather at times coming through. And of course, as we go to that weekend, at the end of June, we've got Glastonbury and the British Grand Prix. Now for the British Grand Prix, we're closer to these blue colours, so maybe more unsettled there. But for Glastonbury, actually we're not far from the Azores High, so you could get the best of the weather. But the overall idea, and I can't pin this down to individual days yet, I can't pin it down to that particular weekend for the British Grand Prix and for Glastonbury. I'll be able to do that in a few days when this starts coming into the GFS model, which is the model that runs out to 384 hours and updates 4 times a day. Then we'll be able to start pinning this down to individual days and that critical weekend, the final weekend of June. But the general idea from the CFS model is that it's pretty changeable, really going through that last week of June. So at the very least, I expect some unsettled conditions. Probably not a mud bath, hopefully. That's cross our fingers for Glastonbury, not a mud bath, but certainly changeable at the very least is being signalled by the CFS model here. And for temperatures during that final week of June, 25th to the 1st of July, well, temperatures are quite cool here. We're around the mid-teens, really, 14, 15 in the north, 16, 17 in the south. You'll probably lift that up a little bit more, 19, 20 degrees, something like that. But certainly no sign of anything particularly hot during that final week of June, if the CFS model is right. And that's the other caveat with this. Remember, the CFS model is highly experimental. It's a seasonal model, so it can't be taken too seriously. But if it's right, there's no sign of anything particularly hot coming up during that final week of the month. Going out from the 2nd of July to the 8th of July, so this comes in the second week of the Wimbledon Championship, and going up to that Wimbledon Finals weekend and the weekend of the Brentwood Festival. Again, it's sort of the same idea. The Azores High is sitting down to the southwest of the country, keeping much of Spain, Portugal, and down into the Azores largely settled. That's trying to ridge up into southern parts of the country. That's where the lighter precipitation colours are in the south and the southwest. But really, again, we're seeing pretty sort of changeable conditions coming through here. Much of the country in these blue colours indicating that precipitation is coming out above average, and again the reason for that is that we've probably got some sort of waving weather front going along here with various depressions probably running along it, and the jet stream also is largely coming through the British Isles. So again, it's the same sort of idea. The best of the weather through the first week of July, probably down in the south and the southwest, where we're closest to that area of high pressure, but generally pretty changeable conditions being signalled here again for that final, for that first week of June, the final week of the Wimbledon Championship. And then just have a quick look at the temperatures for the first week of July. Well, they're pretty cool again here, really. Temperatures again in the north 15-16 degrees, in the south 17-18. Again, you can probably lift that up a few degrees, so it's around 19-20, maybe 21, round average, maybe a little bit below, particularly in the north where it's more unsettled. But overall, it's a pretty changeable looking signal. That's the message from the model. As I say, we can't pin this down to individual days or that critical weekend, the final weekend of June, the first weekend of July. We can't pin it down to those weekends yet. But the overall signal is that throughout this period, end of June, early July, it's likely to, at the very least, to be changeable. So I expect the weather to be playing some parts in these events. Glastonbury may be getting the best of it because you're closest to the Azores High there, but overall a pretty changeable looking at period through many of these events. Now, once this starts coming into the time frame of the GFS model, which isn't too many days away now, I'll be able to start pinning this down more towards those individual days, and particularly that critical weekend of the 28th, 29th and 30th of June. So keep checking back, keep checking my Twitter and Facebook posts, because I will be able to start pinning this down to the weekends and days in the next few days. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching.